the past. Every time there's a new regulation coming, we buy a new system, or we put a new project in place, or we build new spreadsheets, and we do everything in a silo-oriented way. We don't look about how things are done in other organizations. So it's very costly. We do a lot of things manually from a policy perspective and data collection perspective in a higher level in GRC. And we have difficulties actually linking the IT risk's impact on the business. Because if the IT risks don't have an impact on the business, why do we care about it? So Sony, for example, they might not lost that much money in actual loss, but the reputation is huge. So how can we link the risks and the control failures we're facing in IT to the business? So before I will go into a little bit about how we do it at IBM, I just want to spend 30 seconds on a bigger picture in IBM, what we call business analytics. Now, GRC and risk analytics is part of what we call business analytics. So this is everything from reporting to customer actions. It's about predicting analysis. So for example, to be able to predict, for example, where will the next loss happen? Or where will the next control failure happen? It's about financial performance and strategy management. All that inputs that we also need to use for Sarbanes-Oxley for financial controls management. And it's analytical applications in general, and then of course risk analytics. And one of the risk analytics applications we have is called Open Pages. And Open Pages provides a solution to an integrated enterprise risk from a qualitative perspective. So everything that has to do with credit risk, market risk, and more financial risk management is another area we call algorithmics. But from a quality perspective, it's Open Pages. And it's a big solution, but it's a modular solution. So when we talk about governance, risk, and compliance in general, we talk about processes that happen when you do operational risk management, process that happens when you do policy and compliance management not only related to IT. It is process related to IT governance, to audit management, to financial control management. So what we do in all these areas, we do assessments. What we do in all these areas, we do control testing. And in the past, before people were thinking about GSC, we were doing the exact same exercise every day. We could have a situation where in one department, on Monday, the operational risk department came and said, we want to identify your risk and assess your risk and the controls. On Tuesday, the compliance department came. On Wednesday, the IT department came to find out what is the business impact of their risk. And then internal audit came on Thursday and said, now we want to test everything once again. So they didn't have the time to actually do what they were set to do. So GRC is breaking down these silos because the same information we're using is the same thing we're looking at. Another way to present it is what we call the wedding cake. And we are now here in this very fine ballroom. I think there's been a lot of weddings here, so I think it was good to have a wedding cake. And it's all working on a platform. And we have the different solution components. We have our policies, we have key risk indicators or KPIs, we have assessments, we have issues. We have incident management, for example, for when you are having losses or incidents. It could be an IT incident, it could be another incident that happens somewhere in the organization. But it's the different modules that defines where that incident actually goes. So if it's an IT incident, it goes to the IT risk compliance department. I've just got the 5 minutes note. So I'll try. I can say now I won't keep the 5 minutes. So it's a top-down approach and it's a bottom-up control monitoring. And we're talking about all kinds of controls, not just controls that are very predictive or detected for specific elements, but every controls control that each employer in a bank needs to have 2 weeks vacation in a row. A lot of banks have that policy because then they are having difficulties doing these road trading if they have these processes in place. IT policy and regulatory compliance is to map the IT policies and standards to the actual regulations that we need to comply with. And what do we do when they update the ISO? How do we actually figure out what we need to change in our control environment? I think a lot of organizations are struggling a lot here to actually see what kind of impact change in regulation it will have on our setup. And that is actually what Unified Compliance Framework, where the real value is. Because in Open Pages you get the entire UCF framework in, and you map all the processes, you map all the policies up to that framework. So when every quarter there will be an update from UCF, you will then see exactly what controls do I need to assess again, what risks do I need to focus on, what controls need to be tested, in what area do I need to build new controls because I have new risks. It's very, very strong. And what it also does, because we have COVID, we have ITIL, we have ISO, and a lot of them are actually saying, you need a control for this, you need a control for this, and it's the same control. So it actually saying, okay, if you want to comply with this and this and this and this, then you need that control. You don't need to do it 4 times. You only need to do it once. And you can link it out to different regulations. That's very, very powerful. And it comes fully integrated with Open Pages. Control monitoring and assessment. I believe you will get the slides after this, so I will skip these 2 slides. But I want to just spend a little time on the value of integrating IT and enterprise GSC. I come from a risk manager, an operational risk manager background. And all the risks, all the threats that I've heard today are all operational risks. So the operational risk department or the corporate risk departments in your organizations, they are just as interested in IT risk as you are, because they fit up in a bigger picture. Just to end, Open Pages is proven by some of the world leading companies. Like Guardian, we can work in a small environment, and we can work in big environments. Some of our customers have thousands of users of a solution. Normally, many of these clients are not only using one module. The value becomes bigger the more different modules you use, because you use the same data. But it also shows that we work in different industries. So we are not industry specific, because IT risk, IT controls, they are independent. Of course, there's something specific to being a bank, but being an oil company, you also have regulations. On a telco company, you have regulations to follow. But the real power is here that the Open Pages is a very flexible solution. So none of these organizations are actually doing the exact same way. And I don't think that any of you in here is doing your things the exact same way. So it's so flexible, so you can actually configure it to do it instead of having to code throughout it. So when new upgrade comes, because GSC is a very evolving area, you can just put the new upgrade in and you don't have to recode the existing. It's already taken care of. Any questions? Feel free to ask them now, or contact me on this number or email, or try to catch me.
Thank you. Thank you for making it on time.
Yeah.
Okay, now, we'll move to the last part of our event, which is the customer award. And basically, we would like really to award everyone in this room, because really, you have done a lot of, effort working with us, you know, trusting StarLink to do that type of business. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, we have to choose few customers that they have maybe, you know, deploy multiple projects. So what we have decided basically is we selected on 4 different categories. The first one basically is falling under, you know, the best like IT security project, then CISO for the year, then the information security management for the year, and at the end we have selected the customer for the year. And typically, as you know, that the majority of our customers, they are falling under the financial industry, so it was almost these guys, they take the highest rank on our criteria when we did our selection for them. So, we will start with the first one, which is the IT security project for the year.
IT Security Project of the Year Award, fiscal year 11, goes to Flash Red Bank.
The second one was one of the difficult awards, actually. This is need to be given for an individual. And he is the CISO for the year. And this will go for
Security Officer of the Year Award, fiscal year 2011, goes to Rinaldo Rivera, Chief Information Security Officer, National Bank of Kuwait.
For this mistake is, I think this was it sometimes. Now, the third one we go for, okay, the IT security management for the year, and it will go for
Information Security Management Award, fiscal year 2011. Goes to National Bank of Kuwait.
Okay, the last one basically it was again one of the difficult decisions to do it, and really this is we have put so many success criteria to achieve this award, and this is, you know, the customer for the year, the people really that they did so many projects in security, and they did basically well in deploying a lot of best practices type solution within their environment. And this award goes to
StarLink Middle East Customer of the Year Award, fiscal year 2011, goes to First Gulf Bank.
Okay, thank you everyone, and really looking forward really to see you again next year, hopefully at the same time, and now we will be serving the lunch upstairs, and thank you for everyone.